I beg your pardon, madam. We didn't mean to disturb, but may we...
Come, but of course, please.
But who are these gentlemen?
Europeans. To be precise, they're Italians. Journalists. They've come here to the South to conduct an inquest. Is that the proper expression? On slavery. Indeed, they seem to be quite shocked.
What is their religion?
They're Catholics, I believe. You are Catholic, are you not?
Yes, Roman Catholic.
Well, they shouldn't feel too shocked. After all, their Pope, who's most generous with his excommunications, has yet to excommunicate a traitor in black flesh. Unless they eat it on a Friday.
Excommunication? Catholic priests here in the South, between one Our Father and another Hail Mary, they raise goats and slaves. And I must confess, they know their business. The last 7 males I bought were sold to me by the St. Inigo Jesuits in Maryland. Finest bunch I ever bought.
But why are they here, then?
I could be wrong, but perhaps it's because they, too, are slaves. You know how Catholics are. Slaves to the fascination of sin.
Perhaps it might be their oppositionist instinct. You know Europeans, ever since the French Revolution, they've been attacking everything.
But, madam, times have changed. Rousseau, Diderot, Voltaire.
Now, it's Catholics who read the devil's own books. Oh, what would His Holiness in Rome have to say about that?
Please, please. These gentlemen are my guests. And I myself have allowed them to move freely about the house. So they can learn who really are the slaves and masters here. Senator, don't, please. No chicken bones, I beg of you. Why, I've had to take 2 of them to the veterinaries already this week. Well, at this point, I have a suggestion that might enlighten our friends from Italy. All of you at this table are distinguished people, and it would be most illuminating to hear your frank and authoritative views on the subject of slavery. For you know what Europeans say about us, that we have a guilt complex and won't talk about it.
I agree, and I shall speak first. We cannot hide slavery any more than we can hide an erupting volcano, a forest fire, or leprosy. In my own case, it is true that I have freed my slaves because they were stupid, foul-smelling, sad, and bothersome. I'm an aristocrat. I believe in freedom, but not equality. That is my statement. Signed, John Randolph of Roanoke.
I'm Professor Thomas R. Zoo. In history, we know that every great civilization was founded on slavery. Let us take the classic examples of Greece and the Rome from whence you gentlemen come. It's God's and nature's law that man attempt to prevail over his fellow man. Till one becomes the master, one becomes the slave. Let us remember that God is white, and as long as God is white, we will prevail over all other races.
Sorry, Professor. What was that you said?
God is white, and as long as God is white, we shall prevail over all other races.
Beg your pardon, Professor, but with all this confusion, would you mind repeating?
God is white, and as long as God is white, we shall prevail over all other races.
Thank you very much. Any other viewpoints?
Perhaps I, too, may say something to these gentlemen from Europe. I am not a Southerner. My name is Harriet Beecher Stowe, and I'm from New England. I've been here but a few days, but even in that short a span, I've formed a personal opinion. May I state it?
Please do.
Even if I share the universal opinion that the black race is indisputably inferior to all other races, I must, on the other hand, also state that slaves are of human origin and do have an embryonic intelligence.
Oh, really?
I do not hesitate to tell you that I entertain for the suffering slave a degree of sympathy which equals the disgust I hold for those who make him suffer. I am an American who no longer understands her Southern kinsmen, and this tragic fact distresses me deeply. I can feel it. Yes, I can feel it. The wind has changed. It has turned. Are we to have a thunderstorm? And is this not a forecast of even more violent storms that may cause our great country's unity to falter? I have heard God's voice, and his word has told me to write a story, to write a book. I think I'll call it Uncle Tom's Cabin, and it is my great hope that it will enlighten and ease our souls.